Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining Discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 165 of my journey. It was at the beginning of the year when I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year this year, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I had also originally challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within this time frame, but I got ahead of schedule on that, so I've decided to up the mileage for the year to 1,500 miles altogether for the year. So now this is only my second year ever fully running. Within the first full year of 2020, I was able to run 1,002 miles, and I did that in 175 days out of the year that year. So this year of running 365 days in a row is a 100% step up in the amount of days I'll be running this year compared to last year. And going for 1,500 miles within that time frame is a 50% step up from the amount of miles I have obtained last year as well. Also throughout this year, I have decided to challenge myself to run two big races, one being an ultra marathon, a 50K trail race in Yankee Springs, Michigan, and the Detroit Free Press Marathon. And the Yankee Springs 50K trail race is officially over. I am officially an ultra runner. Was able to get that done in 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. That was over a week ago and was still able to get out there every single day since and put in miles to continue this run streak. So now, again, we are on day 165. Now the next big race coming up is the Detroit Free Press Marathon. Really looking forward to that. The training is on for that, as well as looking for the next big race to follow the marathon, because now there's a big hole in my calendar past October, and I'm trying to fill that with the next race. So other than that, guys, like I said, today was day 165. Was able to get out there again today. It was a beautiful day today. Put in 4.7 miles for the day, which put me at 4.7 miles for the week because it is a Monday. Started the run out. It was nice and hot, not too hot, but still a little kind of humid. Got all the way down to the river. Turned around to seeing the whole time I was running down to the river, there was just storm clouds building up behind me, and I never looked behind to even see what was going on, I guess. And by the time I got down and turned around, I was like, all right, well, some point on the way back, it looks like it's going to rain on me. I actually made it pretty far before it actually started to even like a slight drizzle, and I never got too wet. But it did get a little bit rain today, so that was kind of awesome. So like I said, 4.7 for the day, 4.7 for the week, which put me at 62.8 miles for the month of June, guys. That put me at 723 miles even for the year. Now let's talk about these monthly miles real quick. 62.8. Every single month, guys, I challenge myself to a 100-mile challenge, and I do that in honor of different charities throughout the first 5 months, where I donate money to every single charity, as well as start a fundraiser in honor of those charities to try to raise money as well as awareness for them throughout the month. So for the first 5 months, like I said, we were able to do that for 5 great charities. We raised money, awareness, and was able to obtain all the miles for those months. Now we're sitting here in June, and for the month of June, the June 100-mile challenge is going to be in honor of the Alzheimer's Association. And that is because June, guys, the month of June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Now, if you'd like to make your donation to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do that on the Defining Discipline Instagram story, as well as the Defining Discipline Facebook story. On the top part of the stories, it'll say donate on Facebook. You will click on that. It'll open up a link where you'll be able to make your donations. All donations that get made go directly to this charity. Facebook takes 0% of the donation, so that's why I continue to do it through Facebook. You may also find the link to donate on my personal pages, Instagram story, as well as my personal page's Facebook story. Same thing goes there. You just click on the link. All donations that get made to this go directly to this charity. 0% goes to Facebook. So that is pretty much it for the month of June, guys. We're 62.8 miles in, over halfway, and we are, I think, exactly halfway through the month, right around there, 2 weeks into the month. So we're good on mileage, so that seems pretty good. I would actually like to end the month, the last month before running this big race at the beginning of the month and having to kind of cut the mileage down before it and after it. I was averaging right around 2 months ago, I did 150. Last month, I did 140. So I kind of like that number. I'd like to try to keep pushing it and see where I can get without going too far too fast. So, let's kind of just talk about today and today's episode. Oh, actually, before we get into today's episode, let's kind of do a little recap of yesterday's episode, because now this is going to be a recap before that's going to be done before or sometime during every episode from here on out. Yesterday's episode was called Literate, and I'm trying to become more literate. So in order to kind of do that, I decided yesterday, that I am going to kind of start looking up words of the day and trying to really start using them. And not only am I going to look up words of the day and try to use them, but I am also going to spend 30 minutes a day reading out of a book of some sorts, just spending time reading. I'd probably eventually become lenient with reading articles and stuff, but I want it to be more actually a hardcover book, no screen. That is my goal. 30 minutes with no screens of actually just reading, and then kind of a word of the day. So today I have yet to do my reading, but I will do it tonight before bed. I'm going to start. I got a little bit into it, and I'm going to get even farther into it, but I'm still right at the beginning. So basically, I'm starting the book Beyond Order by Jordan Peterson. It is the follow-up to 12 Rules for Life. I was really excited about it because 12 Rules of Life was such a big, influential part of my transformation these past few years. So I was really excited to get this book, pre-ordered it and everything, and started it a little bit and then just kind of put it down because I don't like to read. So that is the book that I'm going to be starting tonight. I'll kind of touch on it tomorrow, kind of about how it went and, how far I got into it, and, just continue that I will be reading it again tomorrow. And we'll talk about tomorrow's word of the day. But today's word of the day, guys, is deride. And that is to laugh at or insult contemptuously, or to subject to usually bitter or contemptuous ridicule or criticism, to express a lack of respect or approval of. So that is the word for the day, the definition of it. Now let's kind of get into today's episode. For today's episode 165, guys, today's episode theme is going to be change. And we're going to talk about change on kind of two levels. One being the ability to change, to change yourself, to really visualize what you want to do and how you need to change and how you should change, and to be able to change. So we can talk about that, but I also want to talk about the inevitable change, the changes that happen and are going to happen no matter what, and how you really react to those changes determines how those changes will react to you. And that being said, I kind of mean an example. You could fight something, you could fight the change. Change is going to happen, but you can just try to hold on and fight it as much as you can and resist the change. But eventually the change will win, and when it does win, it will leave you devastated, demolished, and you will not really know how to move forward, because you will not know how to accept that change, truly accept it, and be able to really move forward, because you were never able to accept it, and it was something that you were always fighting, and you deep down inside always had that belief that you were going to be able to possibly defeat it. So it will leave you crippled and not able to really move forward, if it's when you're really, really trying to, again, fight the change and fight the inevitable change that is bound to happen. Now, vice versa of that is you could really ride the wave. You could know that the change is happening. You could really know that it is coming and it is bound to come. And as much as you don't want to go with it and to change and to face it, you know that it is what you have to do in order to continue on and to develop and to become better. So you accept that change, and instead of letting it hit you blindly, unexpectedly, you prepare for it and you get ready for it. So when it comes, you are ready to ride that change to the next destination, whatever that destination may be. And I know this is so much easier said than done, because I am one who am going through it. I'm going through many changes all the time. Some that I'm trying to fight, some that I'm trying to just hold on for dear life and keep in my grasp and not let go. But change is inevitable, and one thing about change is sometimes you need that change, because holding on to things always isn't good. I've talked about this before in other episodes. Being comfortable isn't always good, because you aren't pushing yourself into those realms of being uncomfortable. You're not learning how to develop, because when you're changing and you're always on your feet and you're always ready for adventure and ready for what's coming next, and learning, you're always going to be kind of growing and with change. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be changing with change. You're going to be growing and developing. If you never change and you don't accept change and you just stay in one place and just keep your head down, and you'll never, your life will just pass you by, and you're just kind of droned out, and you're not really discovering who you are and what you're really capable of if you don't really embrace the change within your life, and you really try to hold on and grasp what you have. Because sometimes, what you do have may seem very, very great. It may seem too good to be true. It may seem like a great place to be, but there is always better. There is always something to work for more. There's always going to be something that you can do. So there's nothing wrong with having goals and setting goals and achieving those goals. And possibly once you get there, you're like, oh, yes, I have these goals. I want to obtain them, or I want to keep them as close as possible. I don't want nothing to change. This is everything I got. I get that. But what I mean is you should always be ready to develop and continue to push yourself farther and create more goals after that, and continue to expand and change, because the change is going to come, and however you take it, however you choose that path, of how the change is coming or how the change is going to come, you get to determine that path. So if you're the one determining it and directing it of how it's going to go, you're going to be happy. But if you kind of just fight it and fight it, and it continues to overgrow and overgrow and overgrow, and then there's no path to go, and you're just surrounded, and then it swallows you whole. That's not a good thing to do. So I just wanted to talk about change in that aspect, because it's something that I'm facing currently. Like I said, it's something I'm going through right now. Many changes. So, and as I'm going through these changes, guys, I'm continuing to push forward and to accept these changes. Some of these changes, like I said, it's hard for me to accept, and it's hard for me to really just let go. But in the long run, I am accepting it, and I am pushing hard, and I'm pushing forward, and I'm doing these things that I really want to do, and I'm trying to really start to pursue the things that I'm really passionate about, and these things that I really care about. No matter how many times or how many people try to deride me. Teaching word of the day, I am going to continue to really push forward and accept the change, and try to really embrace it and ride that change, guys. Now let's kind of talk about the other change in general, just the fact that we can change as a whole. We can change as people. I have went through a change these past 2 years. My whole mentality, my whole personality, my whole outlook, my goals in life, everything about me has pretty much went through a drastic change, and I honestly feel a change for the better, and I've never felt more solid of the mind, and more determined, and more confident, and building more confidence every single day. So it's just a really good feeling. So change is possible, because maybe you're at the part of your life where you want change. You want change so badly, but you're just not taking that step to change. I just want to emphasize that change is so possible. All it takes is that first step, and then the next step. It just it sounds so cliche and so easy and so hard at the same time, and so it is just the first step and the next step. It really is the hardest step. The hardest part of change is just taking that first step, and I truly mean it. The hardest part of me of doing this change that I've done in my life over these past 2 years, the hardest part was literally just starting. Literally once I got started, everything just started to flow. I came a couple problems here and there, but the focus and the grind was always there to continue doing what I'm doing, and to put myself on this path that I'm on currently. So the change is possible if it is what you truly want, and change in our lives is inevitable. So depending on how you are going to react to that change when it comes up is going to determine how it reacts to you. So guys, I want to kind of close out this episode because it's getting late. Got a few things I need to get done tonight. Thank you so much for listening. Before I leave you, I'm going to give you your daily discipline. Today's episode was about change. So for today's episode, in your daily discipline, it is to really think about that, what I was talking about with change. Change is going to be inevitable. So for your daily discipline, it is to think about the things in your life that are changing currently right now, that you are trying to so drastically hold on to that in the long run you will not be able to hold on to, or you just really shouldn't hold on to, and you really don't truly know why you're holding on to it, but you just want to hold on to it, so you're holding on to it. think about those changes that need to happen in your life and how you're reacting to it. Now, the changes that are happening in your life that are inevitable, that are going to happen in your life, that you are holding on to for your daily discipline for the day, it is to really, really think of a way to just move on and let go and accept that change. Ride the wave out to the next best thing that is on the list, okay? Whatever is next that is next for you, whatever that case may be, ride that change to it. Try to accept it as much as possible, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much it may seem not right. If you truly know that it is going to make you stronger and better, really, really try to ride it and accept it for what it is. And also for your daily discipline, guys, it is to really understand that change is possible. And think about think about that person you want to change into. And for your daily discipline for the day, it is to take that step towards that right now. Who is it that you want to change into? Because all it is that first step. So take that first step right now to become that person it is you want to change into. That is going to be your daily discipline as well for the day. Now, thank you guys so much for listening and following along. This is episode 165 of the Defining Discipline podcast. We are only 200 days out of completing this challenge. Do want to get some guests on here real soon. Other than that, though, guys, I am your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline podcast, episode 165. Thank you so much for listening. And if you guys can, please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, and a share on our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook, our TikTok, and whatever podcast streaming platform you guys have been following and listening along on. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 166. Other than that, just stay disciplined, guys. Get that daily discipline done. Accept those changes and figure out who it is you want to change into and take that first step. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.